Hey there, inner tubes. My name is Terry Black. This is the inaugural episode of a show I'm calling Blackout. What I hope to do here is expose some of the things that you guys don't see or hear in the mainstream media, and hopefully adds a little bit of comedy. I don't think this first episode is going to be that comical though. I just kind of want to get out a video before the election. It's pretty close. This is Thursday. It's going to be on Tuesday. I just want to put a video out to let people know who I am and what I intend to do. I guess I should give you guys some background info about me. I'm a computer technician by trade. Right now, I'm working as a contractor, which is pretty typical um, for technicians. If you're anybody in desktop support or something like that, you know what the hell I mean. Not a lot of full-time jobs, mostly contracts. Um, let's see here. I used to do work, or quote unquote, I guess it wouldn't work. I was with an organization called We Are Change years ago. Um, we confronted politicians. We went to different events as press and whatnot, and asked them tough questions that they weren't the mainstream media is afraid to ask them. I guess the most noble thing you probably can find online is me confronting Mitt Romney. I did confront, I believe it's Norm Coleman. Um, but yeah, I mean, you probably find some videos of me doing that. And then I did some work for InfoWars too, although if you've ever done any independent journalist work for InfoWars, you know that it's not really a job. They don't pay. You just call up Alex Jones or whoever. It's pretty easy to call up Alex Jones, pretty much. But or whoever, and just say, hey, so and so's in town. Can I cover them as press for you guys? And go, hell yeah, and they send you some blue personal badges. Go press those badges, and that's it. So I did that. I guess with We Are Change, though, I still have friends who are actively in the group, and if they ever ask me to come out to an event, more than likely I wouldn't say no. It just depends. But right now, I'm primarily just working like everyone else. I don't do any press work, not really. But you get frustrated watching the news. You get frustrated watching TV. You get frustrated looking at another presidential campaign, and to see the coverage, to see the kind of shit that the mainstream media says and that they don't say. I mean, they would rather keep us infotained even in these dark days. I mean, the Clintons, if you don't know, are pretty much a criminal crime family at this point. A lot of people say, "Oh, you just hate women." No, I love women. I'm not a fan of the Clintons, both Bill and Hillary. Part of the reason that Hillary keeps on getting in trouble or keeps on getting these federal cases. A lot of people are confused on if they're watching CNN and MSNBC. I guess less so Fox. They've been covering WikiLeaks a lot better than most mainstream sources, and then they've been covering, especially the various investigations. There are multiple ones. If you don't know that either, there are at least three investigations, federal investigations to Clintons right now. There's one for the Clinton Foundation. There's one about the email server, and then there's Wiener. A lot of people ask, how does Wiener connect to this? Well, they found a bunch of Hillary's emails on his laptop, so it is all connected. And if you Huma Abedin is, they're divorcing, but they're a couple, they're a married couple, and it's all tied together. And a lot of people are real like, why is the email scandal tied to that? Even with the emails being there, how you beat you the Wiener story. Well, here's the thing. Um, Security is a chain, and there are points in which that server Hillary had was the weakest link. That laptop that the perv what's the name, Calls Danger, aka Wiener, was using to send illicit photos back and forth. He was the weakest link. You see what I mean here? So when I mention all these stories are connected, because they really are. They're all criminal federal investigations, and they all kind of run into each other. If you're talking about the foundation stuff, you're talking about the private email server. You're talking about the private email server. You're talking about Wiener, because his dick pics were on a laptop that had much more emails that Hillary apparently couldn't delete or forgot to delete. Who knows? Um, and just to say something right off the bat here, it's okay to, root for the team, but if your team is actively cheating, if your team has a psychopath on it, willing to do anything, I mean, not just, quote unquote bend the rules, but flat out break the rules, and then I scream from the sidelines that, hey, you're breaking the rules, and you go scream, don't get on my team. It's not about that. If I'll put you another way. I had my brother's deceased, but he used to sell crack cocaine, and sometimes he's selling a house. If you don't know, have heard the term trap house, that's what the fuck that means. That means that's a house that's actively moving drugs in and out. There were a couple of times, and one in, I don't think he sold directly out of the house we were staying in, but there were times when he got busted in a house. They kicked down the door, they found the evidence and they cuffed him. And then got arrested and tried and all that. The thing about the Hillary scandals is they got a ton of the evidence. They can't figure out a way to prosecute her. It's like, oh, they don't have any evidence. They have tons of evidence, except her last name is Clinton and she's being actively protected by the Department of Justice. So if my brother had the backing of detectives that found drugs in that house and said, hey, you can't prove intent. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what he was doing with this. It was probably just, using it himself, whatever. It's all bullshit. I mean, we know America has collectively seen millions of hours of Law and Order. We know how this shit's supposed to go. So this whole scandal and all that, and it's if all things equal, she'd be being tried right now for all three of those scandals, because like I said, they all connect to each other in a way. But that didn't happen because she's being protected. At the same time, they say she should do this through the election cycle. Well, Hillary, once again, no one's doing that to her. She did it to herself. She had the server set up. She was involved in the Clinton Foundation. There was Clinton Foundation emails on the server. Clinton Foundation emails probably on my laptop. No one did that except her. It's just like, I got caught with a bunch of drugs and you're like, oh, you guys did this to me. It's like, really? That's bizarre. I'd never heard such a thing. So yeah, that's all bullshit. If she didn't want the scandal to follow her to election cycle, she should have given up everything immediately, which she didn't. She claimed she did. She didn't. She deleted a bunch of stuff after subpoena. So imagine I get issued a subpoena, and right after this, and they say, "Oh, we're going to keep your laptop and your PC. Make sure you keep all that intact." Instead of doing that, I wipe my hard drive. I destroy my PCs. It's like, here you go. What do you think is going to happen? Everyone knows what's going to fucking happen. But, and like, here's the thing too. The Democrats didn't want someone being handed federal prosecution papers too. Should have got a different candidate. Should have told Hillary, hey, you got this monkey on your back, and until that's off, we don't want you anywhere near the fucking White House. It's all her. So all those Hillary haters out there, all those Hillary supporters out there, it's like, oh, you just hate women. No, she's a criminal. And just because she hasn't been prosecuted as one doesn't make her not one. You know what I'm saying? I can see a crime when, we all see criminal act. There's different times in our life we see criminal activity and we don't say, hey, that wasn't criminal activity. No, it was. I'm not going to call the cops on you, but that was some criminal activity. And she's been caught red-handed. And the people who catch her red-handed are being told that, hey, don't prosecute her. You handed her with kid gloves. See, that's the thing, man. I hate the fucking hypocrisy. And I hate how you supporters of her would bend over backwards to make excuses for her. I'm not going to make excuses for fucking ass face on the right. He's a douchebag, but he's not under multiple federal investigations right now. So that's a first. And that's another thing. That's a first. This is a first candidate ever. Also first woman candidate. First woman candidate has multiple federal investigations on her ass, and could very well, if she wins, walk into the White House with multiple federal investigations on her ass. First for women. First. Congratulations. Maybe the next woman won't have, maybe she'll have one federal prosecution hanging over her head, and that'll be another step up for women. Um, I don't mean to be so sarcastic, but I hate those arguments. They're false arguments, man. I'm not rooting for Team Trump, so you dare don't ask me to fucking think of your candidate as like the next coming, because she's not. She's a career fucking criminal, and it's all catching up to her as she's running for president. And we will never solve the problems in our country and abroad if we continue to let the system rot and fester with these piles of shit. Now, I'm not saying that, what's the alternative is Trump. It's like, get past that shit. Get past this election cycle, okay? If you think that way, you will always be in this fucking place of fear of the other. That is not a place where you can fucking win at all. That is a place for you to fucking hide. I get so sick of that shit, man. You have to have some kind of principle to stand on, otherwise you'll fall for any fucking thing. And Hillary is just a next line of that shit. I don't pretend that I know every fucking thing, but I know enough to know that whether who wins, whether it's Hillary or Trump, at some level we will lose anyway. The only thing we can hope this election cycle is maybe we lose a little bit less. But to go out there and just blindly support this candidate and denounce all the horrible fucking shit that follows them and pretend it's like if it's nothing, it's something. And Trump has this shit, oh, he kissed a woman once, she didn't like the kiss. I fucking put my lips on women that didn't want to be kissed by me. Some of those women end up being my girlfriends. Some of those women end up slapping me in the fucking face. But you don't know until you try. So that's the things they have they'll throw at Trump are like things that would have affected literally him and one other person. The things they're throwing at Hillary affect us all. They affect us all. Because if you have a corrupt career politician who is taking money from foreign countries and not even foreign actors, but corporations, and then, taking money in one hand into their fucking, what the fuck is that? The Clinton Global Initiative. And then on the backhand, giving them deals, giving them contracts, giving them access. Where the fuck is our access? You go out and vote for this person. Are they going to have a fucking personal meeting for you? Are they going to do something that you want? Oh, she's going to make sure that everyone gets something. It's like, I don't want a politician giving me shit. Nothing. I don't want anything from them. I want them to get their hand out of my fucking pocket. I want my own financial freedom and responsibility. I don't trust them to make better decisions than I can make myself. I'll put it that way. My awakening with this shit happened when I was in my 20s. I'm in my early 30s now. And you see the same cycles repeat again and again and again, and people just never get it. And part of the reason people don't get it, because they're watching CNN, MSNBC, all these dumbass news networks who are been proven to be in the pockets of the DNC, the RNC. Hell, the head of CNN has given money to the Clintons. Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Some of you might know some of this information, but I'm throwing a lot of shit around. I'm just trying to get this out. I'm gonna have a more focused second video. I just want to let people know where I'm standing right now. But Debbie Wasserman Schultz personally called the head of MSNBC and said, "Hey, I think his name is Jeff Bezos. I might have that name wrong. I'm gonna look it up after this. Hey, Jeff Bezos, you were talking shit about Hillary, or Morning Joe was talking shit about Hillary. Tell him to shut the fuck up and don't cover Bernie Sanders as much." You know what he said? Yes, ma'am. This shit happens all the fucking time. And it's not as if we have a free media, not mainstream anyway. They're corporate owned, and the corporations have made their choice. It's Hillary Clinton. So if the corporations have made their choice, it's Hillary Clinton, if the Wall Street has made their choice as Hillary Clinton, it's all these different groups that made the choice as Hillary Clinton. They all have their hand in the pot. So if you think there's going to suddenly be left for you, you must be out of your fucking mind. So I'm going to leave the video at that right now. I don't mean to sound so negative, but I just want to let some people know where I stand as far as this goes. I don't think that Trump is not having Trump, Hillary's going to be the best, or Hillary's the worst and Trump's going to be the best. I do think that if Hillary's in, that's the person that's probably going to be most destructive toward the average person, because everybody, all the bad guys are in the tank for them. And when you look at their personal records, when you look at their policies, when you look at all the real things, the real substance of everything, they're on the side of them damn selves and the big corporations that give them the money, they're big donors that give them fucking money. So why would I think that I get some out of that? But Trump says a lot of stuff. Yeah, Trump says a lot of shit, but he doesn't have a lot of policy to back up half the shit he says. I doubt that he introduced a policy for every man to be able to grab the pussy. I doubt that will happen. But if you look at mainstream media, that's all it can fucking talk about. It's ridiculous. It's preposterous. They insult your intelligence. This video is going on really fucking long, so I'm gonna stop it. But like I said, this is just a brief introduction. I'm gonna try to have a better video tomorrow. And by the way, too, I'm gonna set up some accounts so I can try to get some funds from you guys. If you don't want to fucking give me money, fucking fine. Just watch my videos. I do that. If you do, great. Right now I'm just using a fucking cell phone camera, so that'd be way better if I have a real camera, real mic. Mics are cheap, cameras are not. I get a good mic for $100. I can do that pretty quick. Anywhere from $700 to $3,000 to get a decent camera, or decent to a great camera. So that's all I'll say for now. I'm gonna get this video uploaded as soon as I can, and yeah, blackout.